Hello, welcome to the Something About Basketball podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Paul.
Yo, I'm Dylan.
Today we're going to be talking about the Pacific Division, which is probably the most relevant division this year. I don't really think there's.
Oh, it's gonna be a tight race, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. We're going. We should probably just get it out of the way and talk about the Warriors first.
All right, so scrappy underdog Warriors.
Yeah,
they perpetually suck.
They need shooting, which first of all, yeah, they need to get more ball movement, more assisted baskets.
Probably use a coach.
Better coaching. Yeah, They're gonna struggle for it. Whatever.
Yeah, they'll be good.
They're gonna be really good.
You think they get to 70? Do they even care anymore?
I mean, I think that it's someone I heard was talking about it, and they were like, these guys are gonna fall into 70 games. Windhurst, that's who it was. They were like, these guys. It doesn't matter if they're not even trying. Like, you can turn around, they can talk all they want about how we're not gonna put this burden on ourselves, but like they're gonna go in. Like, say they play the Kings, right? They play the Kings. They go out. They're gonna put 60, 70 points on them in the first 13 minutes of the game, if even, and that's gonna be it. You know what I mean? That's going to be it. They're going to blow teams out of the water. If you're a team like the Suns, the Kings, the Lakers have got these kind of hulking centers that aren't really that good at getting up and down the court quickly. They're just going to blitz you on the break, and you won't be able to. It's frightening. It's a frightening team. It really is. I don't know if you got anything interesting to say about the Warriors.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if they best last year's 73 game mark. I think they are going to go for it, and I think they're going to come out and try and set everything on fire. Or if they don't get to that, I think they're going to push themselves incredibly hard and try and sweep everything, do the old Philly faux. Yeah, I think they're going to be good. Shocking.
Devil's advocate argument. Right. What could go wrong?
Steph Curry breaks his ankle again.
Well, outside of injuries, right? What's the argument? I mean, I suppose you'd be talking chemistry. Would that be it?
I would say suspensions for Green because he starts kicking people in the balls again, brings it to the regular season.
I halfway understand if you say like that maybe they're going to be a little bit slow out the gate, and although they were scoring pretty easily in preseason.
What they win to start the year last year, like 23?
23, yeah, something like that.
I would be very shocked if they lost one of their, or if they didn't come out and win at least 18 of their first 20. I think they're going to be on fire, and I think they're.
I watched the first quarter of the Lakers Warriors game in preseason there a week ago or something, was it? I watched the first quarter, and there was a couple of plays where Klay Thompson was standing and there wasn't a player within 10 feet of him.
Is he going to be an MVP candidate?
Klay?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone from the Warriors is going to win. I think
they'll have at least two candidates. I think they're going to cannibalize.
It'll be Steph and KD will be the leaders of the team. Klay has been just getting open shots, and he's just been unconscious. Klay Thompson. It's basically like for him, if you give him a foot, that's like I don't know. Me and you could put us 3 feet from the basket. We couldn't. We couldn't hit at the same percentage as what he can hit those shots. I mean, the guy is. If you give him space, he's just going to bury you. So like, I mean, the only argument is that maybe Draymond gets pissed off that he's not
hurt.
He's maybe not one of the focal points quite in the same way that he was last year. Maybe Pachulia, won't be
Pachulia.
Pachulia, sorry, fuck, what's wrong with me? won't work out. Because there is a bit. I mean, we will miss the things that Boga could do. I mean, Boga was amazing even for really simple things like setting screens and like little dribble, like little handoffs.
Oh, he's a tough. I mean, he was #1 pick.
Yeah,
like, he was a great player.
and he couldn't
Still
like
pretty good.
great defender and but that's all. It's all.
Yeah, and it's
No,
not like
just-
Pachulia was exactly a chump last year in Dallas. He put up pretty damn good numbers.
Can't score for buttons though. Can't like he's got the word one of the. Who's got the worst hands in the league? Like who's got terrible hands?
DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre can count. DeAndre's one of the best pick and roll finishers in the game.
Yeah, he can catch lobs, but
Okay, but like a guy who just can't score. You can put him under the basket and he can't score. I don't know, but he's got some of the worst hands in the game. And he just can't score around the rim, man. Like, but I think again that's gonna be peripheral. I mean,
yeah, it's
people can talk all this crap about potential. I think they're gonna be really, 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 really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Groundbreaking stuff. I know.
Let's move on. The Suns. They're gonna be interesting.
I'm gonna go be bad.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I really like their guards. I think Lynn is pretty
That's good.
pretty good. I think Chandler's probably gonna be washed up.
Like he already is.
What do you think about Dragan Bender?
I think he looks good. He looks like a player. I don't know how much he can contribute this year, but going forward, I think he looks like a player.
Who do you think gets more minutes, Chris or Bender?
I'd imagine that Bender's the more polished product at this.
It's more versatile too.
He's more versatile,
7 foot, right? Like I'm sure he'll get a couple of minutes.
He can shoot. He can shoot. So
Shoots pretty well.
This team just doesn't really like. It doesn't really make sense because, I mean, you've got. I mean, Lennon, Chris, and Bender should be a really nice core going forward. But then you've got like Jared Dudley. Jared Dudley's one of my favorite players in the league. But like, what's Jared? Jared Dudley is a really good player to have on a good team.
Yeah, as like
Jared,
a 7th or 8th man. Yeah, he's
a guy who just makes things work and sets up plays and defends and does all these things, but he doesn't make any sense on a team that's not going to be any good. It's not like Jared that you're going to stick Jared Dudley on a 20-win team and what's he going to do? Get you 21 wins?
He'll end up on the Clippers at some point.
Remember the Clippers? The Clippers actually traded. They traded Jared Dudley and Eric Bledsoe in the same offseason, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Bledsoe is a great player, but he's just never healthy.
Yep, and Brandon Knight's really good. I feel they got him for what, MCW?
That was that weird, the great point guard exodus. That was like a really weird. They were supposed to have the Lakers pick. It was a terrible trade. They were supposed to have the Lakers pick, and then they traded it to the Sixers.
Yeah.
MCW went to the Bucks and Knight went to the Suns.
Yeah.
So they basically they had Isaiah Thomas and the Lakers pick and somehow ended up with Brandon Knight. And Brandon Knight is a
good player.
He's a good player. I mean, I think he makes sense. He would make more sense on a team like the Magic that like desperately needs a point guard. But like, what do you call that guy? The small guy that they drafted, the Suns, Tyler
Lewis.
Tyler Lewis. I mean,
he looked really good in summer league.
He did, yeah. In a hypothetical, if you guarantee that Eric Bledsoe was going to be healthy, Bledsoe starting, Ulis backing him up. That's a nice point guard rotation. But I just don't know how much you can actually really depend on Bledsoe being healthy.
Who's their coach now? Was Hornacek.
It's it's the guy that was the assistant, wasn't it?
Ron Adams. No. Whatever. Oh, the Lakers dude. Everybody was pissed off that he didn't get a Lakers job.
I
Yeah,
can't
it's-
remember, but it's immaterial. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
he's super prepared.
I genuinely don't think they're gonna be very good. I think the Chandler contract's gonna be a little bit of a
Albatross
millstone,
kinda.
yeah, around the next for the next couple of years. Book we haven't even talked about Booker. I think
Pretty darn good.
Booker was not as good last year as what people think he was, but he's going to be really good going forward.
He's what, 20 years old now?
He was 19 last season.
So he's
I
bright
checked.
future.
I actually, yeah, he does. Yeah, I checked his shooting numbers. ESPN's got that like month by month breakdown, and like it went in. His shooting percentages went in the toilet. It was like I think by the end of the season he was shooting like 28% or something terrible from three. But it makes sense. He was the only bloody threat on the court a lot of nights, and they're just doubling up or just all of the defensive attention was going on him. So he didn't really have much in the way of help. Another reason why I'd rather have Len kind of regressed a little bit last year.
Yeah,
he was looking pretty. He was looking like he was going to be a really nice player, and then he just. Obviously it's difficult with Chandler taking some of the minutes, and
for sure.
But I feel bad saying that Chandler's washed because he's been again one of my favorite players in the league he was one of my favorite players in the league for a good few years. But it's kind of the same thing with it's like the same thing with Dwight Howard. These guys that come in straight out of high school, and you look at them and go, "Oh, but sure, like Tyson Chandler's only 32, but depending on athleticism and a hell of a lot of miles on him."
Oh yeah.
2001 he was drafted.
Is that
wasn't it?
Bulls pick?
Was drafted by the Bulls. The year they took Chandler and Eddie Curry, the same draft, and
Eddie Curry.
everyone was kind of like, I remember even like 4 years in or something like that, everyone was still talking about how Eddie Curry was the better player, and I remember even back then going, "This is absolute lunacy," but we're getting off on a tangent.
Alright, move on to the Kings.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's just for all the desperate Sacramento Kings fans. God bless their wee hearts.
I like Dave Yeager. I think he's a real coach. Coming in from the Grizzlies, I think he's going to actually try to play defense, which we all know George Karl is, it's his kryptonite. So it's just going to be interesting to see how it's going to play out. Like, we got a lot of front court depth.
That's one way of saying it. Yeah, they've got 17 centers, 14 power forwards, or something like that.
Yeah, is Ty Lawson, can he get back to what he was way back in Denver? Because he was, he's 27, 28?
He is 28. Doesn't seem to have gotten over his problems with extracurricular activities. He missed a team flight the other day, and there was a whole lot of rumblings going around that he's not in a great situation, put it that way. He's not exactly got a lot of it's not the type of team or environment that you can imagine a guy with problems is necessarily going to get
A lot of help.
Get a lot of help. I want Boogie out of there. I love Boogie. I think Boogie's I think he's just one of the best players in the league, and I don't want him to. It's kind of one of those. It's just one of those things where I feel like every single year I say the same thing about the Sacramento Kings, and I've given up hope. It's just like this ball's just going to keep rolling until he eventually gets traded. Do you know how much of the team Vivek owns? That Sam Amick did an interview with him. He only owns like 11% or something ridiculous. His stake is $53 million, and the rest of it's all like they've got like 700,000 owners or something like that. But it's amazing the influence that he has over the team, considering the fact that he has such a paltry amount. Like, granted, $53 million. It's not quite my bank balance.
Well, we do get paid millions every month.
Yeah. No, I think that I could see. I think this is the year Cousins gets traded.
It's. I think this is the start of a new day in Sacramento. I do think Jaeger's gonna be there for a while, and I think he's gonna want to build around Cousins. I hope that Cousins is gonna be like, wow, Zach Randolph, Marcus Gasol, Memphis, you did some pretty good stuff there. We're a team built on bigs. I mean, Willie Cauley Stein is super fast. He's super quick. He's a hell of a defensive player. Can't He might actually have the worst stone hands in the league. That guy can't score to save his life.
But why should Cousins? Why should Cousins have any faith in management that management is actually going to be patient enough to let Dave Yeager create a culture? I mean, I think Vivek's arguably, as long as Jim Dolan's breathing, I'll never call him the worst owner in basketball. But he's they just constantly make these stupid decisions, and like firing the fired Mike Malone, who took over for Mike Malone.
Well, Malone was only an interim, right? He got let go at 7-3 after taking over from Carl.
No, that was when Cousins went down with meningitis. Mike Malone was the coach at the start of the season.
Yeah.
They were playing quite well over like a 2 or 3 weeks stretch. They were like 8-2 or something in that region. Cousins goes down with meningitis. They use that as an excuse to fire Malone because obviously the team then starts losing. But Vivek wanted them to run an up-tempo offense, so they fired Mike Malone. Was like pretty much, it was like seemed to be the only coach that had actually gotten through to Cousins and was getting him playing good team defense. They were engaged. It seems like they could maybe get something rolling. I don't know. I think it's a toxic situation all around, and I think it's only going to end one way, and it's with DeMarcus Cousins leaving. That's the way I think it's going to play out. I think Cousins has kind of been burnt enough within the organisation that he's not going to have any faith in him at all. And he doesn't do himself any favours. He pouts and he doesn't get back on defence. He does lots of things wrong himself, but it's like...
When's his contract up?
He is signed for 2 more years, I think. But for him, what about... I don't know what Boston could give. If Boston gave up the Brooklyn pick in this next draft, which is almost certainly going to be, it couldn't be anything less than a top 3 pick. If they gave up the Brooklyn pick and I don't know, fire a few more things in on top of it, I think the Kings will be crazy to say.
How old's Cousins?
27 or 26, I believe. But
I'd still rather have the best center in the league.
But the thing is that it's not going anywhere, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's just, I feel like his behavior isn't going to get any better. I think this stupid decisions and firing coaches and just I mean, granted, you can make an argument that maybe Jaeger will get through to him soon enough. But Rudy Gay apparently has made it clear he wants out of there. Zach Lowe tweeted about it, saying he's basically told management he's not going to suit up for them this year or something to that effect. Just like, get me out of here. But then he's telling the press, like, oh, you guys are starting all these rumors and whatever. Good riddance to him. I don't give a crap about Rudy Gay, but
he's a good player. You don't think so?
Rudy Gay's never been on a good team. He's never. It's one player whose play has never translated.
His Memphis teams weren't bad.
But I mean, was that due to Rudy Gay? Or was that due to Marcus Gasol and Zach Randolph? It was never really. They got better. They got better after they got rid of him. So that's the whole thing. Like, Memphis got rid of him. immediately that was kind of the start of their creating that whole grit and grind defense first identity. Then he goes to Toronto. I remember, Jesus, he was abysmal in Toronto. He was shooting like 39%. He's 6'8". He was shooting like 39%. They trade him and immediately go on this, really good winning streak.
Well,
they got Lowry for it. That's how they got Kyle Lowry, wasn't it? Toronto. As part of the I need to look into it. I think that might have been when they got Kyle.
Was that not because he got traded like straight up for Sean Marion, but that was just because at that point contract was pretty bloated, right?
I'm not 100%, but at any rate, I don't. Yeah. I've never really. He's just a high usage guy. He's just like a high usage wing. He doesn't really defend. Can't really create for others. Isn't a very good shooter. I remember there was like a whole thing about how apparently for the first
he
needed contacts. Do you remember that? And he never bothered to get them. How dumb do you have to be?
Yeah, it's not a good thing. What do you think about Matt Barnes? A scrapper on your team?
Matt Barnes is not.
I think he's a good player. I like
probably a past it at this point, but like, yeah, Matt Barnes is not a bad guy to have on the team. I think he's a hard worker, and he probably exceeded his what maybe you would have thought his career would have been. I mean, he was probably a better player than what he might have been, but like he was good for the Clippers for a couple of years. But
is he the biggest journeyman in the NBA? Golden State, Orlando, LA, Clippers.
He's been around a few teams.
Did he play with the Lakers?
Sean Livingston went through. Remember whenever he was injured, he went through a lot of different teams as well.
So he was what? Clips. He kind of disappeared for me for a while. Fell off my radar. I think Tolliver he can at least hit a nice. I think he's 37, 38% from three.
Possibly, yeah.
I think
a couple of those guys that drafted, the foreign guys that they drafted, are meant to be pretty good. But,
the Greek guy.
But it doesn't exactly make much sense when you've got the highest usage big man in the game, But Macklemore still could be something. Follows not bad, but this team's not going to be good. I don't know what their over under is, but every single I've been every year for the last 3 years. I've made the same argument. I don't know, because Boogie's going to be a little different, and this is going to happen, and this could happen. And every year, I think they've won 28 or 29 games every year for 3 or 4 years or something like that.
It's going back I think 12 or 13 seasons. They haven't had more than 33 or 34 wins. It's
yeah, no, they're not going to be good.
I don't know. I feel like opening a new arena is gonna help them kind of turn over a new page, and
who are the teams that in the West that the Kings are consistently going to be able to beat? The Suns, the Lakers. Who else?
It's going to be interesting to see. We'll have to see how the season plays out, see how they gel, if they can gel, because Dave Yeager, he did some pretty nice things.
Yeah, he's a good coach. He is a good coach, but it's very difficult it's very say if you talk Steve Kerr, who's by all accounts supposed to be one of the best personality guys in the league, right? You took Steve Kerr and put him on the Sacramento Kings, I still would have no faith that he could redeem that situation.
I think I don't think it'd be his kind of style at all.
But in a hypothetical situation, if you put him on and I don't think there's any coach that can really. There are just fundamental problems within that organization from the top down that need to be rectified before. They need to just clean house of the roster. Gee, for God, there's been talk that the rest of the owners are going to try and stage some sort of an insurrection, but get Vivek out, get some sort of competent ownership in, and then you can. It's depressing to say it, but if you're a Kings fan, start rebuilding. I mean, you don't have much to rebuild, but clear house and just try and let keep Dave Yeager and try and instill some sort of culture around the place, because
I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're gonna end up trying to be what Memphis was, because Memphis no longer gonna be that grit and grinds defensive team.
I don't think Cousins is that type of defensive player.
He's not, but I think Stein is. I think Papagiannis has a chance to be. Skal Labissiere, he's 2 years away from being 2 years away, but 6'11" and pretty agile on his feet. I mean, Willie Cauley-Stein is incredibly quick. Like, that guy is fast as hell.
With Memphis, you had that two-pronged attack, like that two-pronged defensive monster of.
It's not like Randolph is exactly a defensive monster.
but that he was like the only kind of weak link. But you had just from as a foundation, you had Marcus All in the middle, Tony Allen up on the perimeter. Tony Allen's was a ridiculously good defender. He's still very good, but that was the foundation of that team.
That's true.
And then like obviously Randolph kind of got up on the boards and did whatever, but I don't see it on this team. I think Boogie could be he can still be a good team defender, but
yeah, I think they're going to be interesting. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch if nothing else this year. Like,
I'll give you that, they're going to be interesting. They're seldom ever quiet.
Yeah, they're intriguing. I don't think they're going to be as bad as everybody thinks, but it's hard to say.
Clippers?
Yeah. I mean, it's retreads. They've had pretty bad injury luck. Like last year against Portland.
That was their time.
It was their year. Like, what was it? The day that Curry was out for 2 weeks.
The day after, I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, I think the day after Chris Paul goes down, and then Griffin's like, oh, yeah, it's kind of a lost cause. I'm just not even going to suit up anymore.
Well, I think Griffin did have legitimate injury problems.
Oh, I think he definitely did.
Yeah.
But I think he probably would have played if Paul would have been out there.
We just went from one stuck in 1985 to another because, again, I have a soft spot for the Clippers. I don't know if it's because everyone hates them or because I think that Chris Paul, there's an unfair narrative around both Griffin and Paul. I think it's not their fault that they have. I mean, it is obviously they share a proportion of the blame, but there's fundamental roster problems that Doc Rivers has just not put a strong supporting cast. A bench. He's never like put a strong. If they instead of giving away all their draft picks, they could have drafted young, developed guys over a couple of years, and instead they just keep.
What's win now for?
Yeah, I don't know if it's.
Well, I think the Clippers' main problem, and they've gotten better about it, but they whinge way too much.
They do, but
and Chris Paul's culpable. Blake Griffin is so expressive that he's just hard to like when you're watching a game, because I understand he's getting beat up every play and it's not fair, but like he goes into hysterics. Like Dwight Howard, he's also very expressive, but he doesn't whinge to the same extent that Blake Griffin does, and he's still a bit of a whiner. Like,
but what about from a win, like from a sheer winning standpoint? Where do you think the team's gonna finish this year?
Well, they're the Clippers. They'll never win a title. They're the worst franchise.
They're cursed.
Well, they're just the worst franchise, maybe in American sports history. Like, they're just they're snake bitten, and they're not like, it's the Sterling taint. Like, they should move down to San Diego, or they should change from the Los Angeles Clippers. Like,
I've actually said that for a while. I think that they should change the name, if not only for karmic reasons or something, but from a sheer. I think if Griffin has got over his injury problems, this is a 55-win team minimum.
Oh, they're gonna be great, but
I think
they're unfortunate that they're playing, and they're not going to win their division, and it just depends. If they can stay healthy in the playoffs, they're going to put up a heck of a run.
I think they're gonna be the second seed.
Think so?
Yeah, I think Spurs
fall off.
I think the Spurs are going to fall off a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the Clippers are going to win something in the region of. I mean, as I said, 55 to me. If Griffin is healthy, is their floor, I could see them winning anything up to 60 games. Griffin Griffin's shot looks really good this year. The guy from B-Wall Breakdown did it was like a really quick video showing the difference in his stroke, or the way that he's shooting his threes much more fluid. He had like a little hitch in his shot. If Griffin starts consistently being able to knock down threes, one, it's going to start saving on it's going to save on banging a little bit if you give.
Yeah,
In the regular season, who gives a shit, right? Going to save on banging a little bit, and it also just means that spread offense that they were kind of running in his absence, they can still have a reasonable facsimile of that type of offense. You know, DeAndre, the more room you give him, the better. You know, DJ, Chris Paul, pick and roll, spread everyone out, and he was kind of showing the way that he can attack closeouts. So whenever the player comes out, you can just go by them, spread the ball around for 3 point. Like, Blake's a really good passer. He's one of the best big man passers in the history of the game. One is a legitimately phenomenal passer as a big man. You know, he can rebound. He can do just about everything. I think it's just that support. That's the main thing when it comes to like challenging the big dogs is
the depth.
What faith do you have? I've never been a big Crawford guy, and he's not gotten better with age.
Well, I mean, looking at their roster now, like Brandon Bass he's a serviceable backup. He can hit a nice little mid range. He can get boards for you. Mo Spates is instant buckets. Like I can't like him because I'm a Florida State fan with the UF, but like he's incredible. Like he just gets buckets. Paul Pierce, it's
the wing. That's where the problems start and finish. Is the Paul Pierce is too old. Wesley Johnson's too inconsistent. Balmute has no offense.
He's a prince, dog.
Yeah, but that's where you really a player that they could really use, like a guy like Jared Dudley.
Yeah, that would be.
He'd be amazing on this team. Like, I feel like he. if only they hadn't given him away. But like, anyway,
what do you think Rivers gonna do this? Austin is gonna do this year.
I think Austin's
showed a lot of balls.
I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the kid because if he didn't have his dad's name, granted he probably wouldn't. He wouldn't be on the team.
Probably wouldn't have been drafted 11th.
But well, I mean, didn't he have a really good tournament? Did he hit a couple of big shots and stuff? I don't watch college basketball, but like
he's dookie. Like he's no Tyus Jones. Let's put it that way.
But anyway, let's look at what he can do. He can hit a spot up three. He can defend.
He can play with his face beaten to a pulp.
He still feels himself too much. He still makes ridiculous decisions that just make you want to, slam your head into the screen.
Nah, dude, his dad's the coach. He won't get benched.
Yeah,
he's good.
But I like Austin Rivers. I think Austin Rivers. He's not the problem. Put it that way.
Yeah,
he's not the problem on that team.
I agree.
Because really, you're splitting hairs whenever you're talking about the Clippers. Clippers have been a really good team.
No, it's true.
For 4 years, and the main reason, just complete mental farts for one, but also just their starters have to take on too much of a burden.
Yeah,
and the no wing depth, and if you're playing the Warriors are over here. If you're playing the Warriors, you need to contain KD, and you put Bam Mute on KD, then you're playing 4 on 5, and that's just the way it shakes.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the Clippers, but I mean, if Curry goes down in the first month of the season, there's no reason why the Clippers couldn't win the West.
Yeah,
that's all it's going to take is a catastrophic injury to one of the Warriors.
Well, if Curry goes down, then Chris Paul the next day
probably will. Yeah,
falls down the stairs.
But as I said, I really hope they make I want them to make the Western Conference Finals. If nothing else, then to shut up the morons who talk about how Chris Paul's not true great because he's never made out of the second round.
I don't think anybody really says that.
There's loads of fucking idiots and talk radio style presenters and guys on ESPN and stuff that would talk that shit. There's loads of guys that talk that
Paul,
shit.
what kind of idiot listens to a podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on to the Lakers.
Lakers?
Your 2017 NBA champions. Triumphant return of Chairman.
Yeah.
You got Ivan Zubac?
What?
The Croat 7'2", 7'3" guy?
I don't really know too much
Zubac.
about him. Zubac, yeah. I don't really know too much about him. I think the Lakers are going to be fun. I think they've got a bright future.
I think they're going to suck.
Oh no, they're going to suck, but I think they're going to be fun. I think D'Angelo Russell is looking really, really good.
He's got potential.
We had this discussion at the end of the season. Whenever was it the end of the season when we were talking about Westbrook, and we brought him up, and I'm pretty sure you were really, really low on Russell because it was the whole thing. If Westbrook didn't re-sign, I was like, would you take Russell and like. The hell did I can't even remember.
Way back before before KD was traded to Golden State.
Yeah. That was a different NBA. But I said because I was really high on Russell. I think
Russell and Randall for Westbrook.
I think that might have been
it.
If you knew you were leaving, again that was a hypothetical where Westbrook was walking out the door.
Well, but it's a Russell for Russell swap, so yeah.
But I think D'Angelo Russell. As I said, the part of the reason why I really liked him was that even last year he showed really good shot making abilities. He showed he could pass, and I just love his size. Physically, he's 6'5", 6'9" wingspan. Which he's not really shown himself to be much of a defender, but he should. I see no reason why he shouldn't be able to become at least an average defender. But I don't know. What do you think going forward? Like, who do you like? Who do you not like?
I kind of agree with you. I do think Mozgov's gotten a lot of flack for his contract, and he is ridiculously overpaid. He was pretty solid. He was back with Nuggets.
He was good. I mean, he was good for the Cavs
2 years ago.
Yeah, he was good for the Cavs. I mean. It's just last year's just kind of injuries, and then he didn't quite fit that.
Well, they had their rotation.
Channing Frye was kind of like
that Cavs team was so deep last year.
Towards the end of the season, when they were just pinging 3-pointers like at an absurd rate, he didn't really fit their identity, and I think people kind of, it just shows you how perceptions can really affect things. I think Mozgov is still a good center on. He's not long term. He's probably not really something of concern. I don't really know why they signed him. I mean, you can make an argument. Maybe him and Dang, they know that Russell hasn't really fostered a reputation for being the most mature or reliable person in the world. So maybe it's like, okay, we'll get these veteran guys in that can hopefully shore up that locker room and keep everyone on the up and up. But
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Luol Deng, I'm not expecting anything from him. So
pro.
He's no doubt about it. He's good. Not great with the Heat.
I think he was better with the Heat than even he was with the Bulls. I thought he started to show a little because whenever they moved him to the 4, and because he was too slow to play the 3 anymore. When they moved him to the 4, he was able to start beating guys, and he's a strong guy.
He's strong. He's a professional. He'll do his job. He's not gonna be great. I'm expecting. Probably by January, Ingram's going to be getting that starting gig from him, if not even day one.
I disagree. I don't think Ingram is ready to start.
He's definitely not ready, but it's not like the Lakers have a whole lot of it's
It's
still in their best interest to tank this season, honestly. Like, cause
well, they lose that pick. Still top
I
three
I think
protected.
it is. And so if they do
It
it
might
at
even be top.
5 protected.
No. I think it might only has it moved to just being top one to just
Top
being
protected.
number one.
I'm not even sure.
Well,
Actually, I guess it depends on that. I should probably do.
I think Ingram's going to be a good player.
Mm.
I've watched him a couple of times, and he's not he's not KD, but there's a really unfair. It's a really unfair comparison to put on someone just because they happen to match, you know, the physical frame of Durant,
He's
and he can
still
shoot.
2-3 inches shorter.
I think he's about the same height that KD maybe was when he came into the league, but then
And
KD
was a
grew.
legit
But no, but
7-footer coming
I
in.
don't think. I think he grew a couple of inches. He did a bit of a Giannis. Like Giannis came in as about 6'10", and then he's grown a couple of inches since he got into the league. But I don't know, well, whatever. But he's a tall, skinny guy who can shoot.
Yeah.
And just because you're a tall, just because you match that frame doesn't mean you're going to be the same player. But I think he's going to be a good player. I'd say probably the most divisive player on the team is Randall.
Yeah, I'm not huge about his game. He's an interesting prospect. He's very unique. Like, he can. What's the strongest point of his game?
I think he's great for a big guy. He's a very good rebounder. I think he averaged 10 rebounds a game, and I think something like 13 per 36. But the real advantage that he gives you is that he's a really good rebounder who can turn around and he can run the break, and he's a good passer. I think he averaged like something. He could average 4 or 5 assists a game. Can't shoot for buttons. And I don't know exactly what his percentage like, unless he's like right at the rim. He doesn't seem to be really effective shooting from anywhere on the floor.
His driving game it actually exists, which is weird for a power forward kind of in his body. He's an interesting guy. Nance
It's good.
Lance is good. He's solid. He's not. I mean, he's young. I think he's still on his rookie contract.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Second round pick. He's only because this is only his
second.
This is only his second year, isn't it? Yeah, because that was last year. He only got drafted. Like he was a rookie last year.
Okay. Well, that's a little unfortunate for them then, because.
But the thing is, he's older than most rookies though. He's like 20, or he's like, I think he's 20. He's 23 this year. Yeah, 23, 24. But anyway, Nick Young, atrocious.
Swaggy P, dog.
He's awful.
Swaggy P.
He's just awful.
Swaggy P.
Lou Williams, yeah, he's okay. Yee, Sherman.
Hey man,
Do you know what I was thinking about? I think this would have been absolutely hilarious if you could still get the video, because I think that the Chinese government has destroyed all evidence of that video. You know when he was schooling that chair? Wouldn't it be absolutely brilliant if you could get that video and edit it to make it sound like he was talking trash to the chair? Like he's like, bet you ain't got shit. Like
well,
crossing up the chair and stuff.
Let's show them that actual video right here. Blank space.
Yeah.
Edit this in. You learned how to do this jazz.
Going forward, I don't know, unless there's serious developments in Randall's shot. He missed his whole rookie season.
He's an asset. But I don't think he's gonna be there in 4 years.
Sixth man. I mean, I think you could use him as like, he's not nowhere near as good as what Lamar was, but maybe in that Lamar Odom sixth man running the second unit kind of, you could do that with the right collection of players. I think he's got more of a role than what people think he's going to have. People just seem to be writing off the fact that he can't shoot, but he can do a lot of other things. Not how many players in the league can grab 10 rebounds a game and lead a fast break. How many players can do that? Lead it effectively and make good decisions and find guys.
Yeah.
handful. Not many players anyway.
So what? Love,
KD. KD could average 10 rebounds if he wanted to.
Griffin,
LeBron.
Westbrook.
Yeah, I suppose he could average 10.
Oh, what do you mean, dude? He's about to have that Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, we'll talk about
I
I don't know.
I don't have anything else.
No,
to
I
say.
don't really have a whole pile else.
Jordan Clarkson's good. He's young. But I just feel like this roster is going to be turned over, and 3 years from now, maybe 3, maybe 4 players maximum are going to actually stay on the Lakers.
At the end of the day, if you've got two All-Stars out of a rebuild, it's more successful than most.
So you got Russell and Ingram.
I think Russell and Ingram it's too early. So it's too early to call Ingram a potential All-Star, but I think D'Angelo's going to be really, really good in this league.
Yeah, he's it's going to be interesting. He's not very good at winning games yet, so
no, we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, anything else?
Yeah, that's about it. Final record predictions for these teams. Just
exact records or ballpark?
Let's pin it down exactly. Just nail it.
Okay.
Let's do it right.
I think Warriors are. I'd be astounded if they won any less than 69 games. I'd probably. Well done, right? I'm gonna peg them for about 70 wins. What do you think?
So you think 70-12? Oh, like I say, I'm gonna go 74-8. I think they're gonna say they're not going for it, but I think they're going to be really good.
Suns, 30 games. I don't know what the line on them is, but I don't think they're going to be very.
It's not very much confidence.
I don't think they're going to be very good. 35 at a push. Kings, 28 wins. What do you think the Suns are going to win?
Suns will go 37 and.
You think they're going to win 37 games?
Yeah, 37-40.
I don't know. There's only really going to be 2 atrocious teams in this conference, and that's the Lakers and the Suns.
That's hard to say. I think everybody expected the Suns to be atrocious last year, and they were fairly surprising.
The Suns were awful last year. So everyone thought they were going to be good, and they were horrendous.
So 2 years ago when they.
It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. That was the Dragic year. The Suns are. I don't think they're going to be good at all. What about the Kings? How many games do you think the Kings are going to win?
Like I say, I think the Kings, they're going to flounder a bit, but 32-50 maybe.
Clippers, I think, I'll go conservative and say 56.
56.
Yeah.
It's hard to say with the Clippers. Maybe 52-30. Lakers, they're going to suck. They're going to go like
20-62 or something.
Something around there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be very good. They're going to be in competition for the worst record, but
for sure. I think they do have to give it to Philly regardless.
But I think
it might become unprotected.
No, I'm pretty. They can keep their pick this year, but I'm just not sure to what extent it's protected. But they're going to be in the conversation for the bottom 3 record in the league. I just think the Nets and the Sixers are a little bit worse. The Nets actually, I think, are substantially worse
than the Lakers.
Yeah. Both on paper and in practice. But again, we have already had that conversation. I think the Nets are going to be awful.
So generally, I think the Atlantic Division is going to be pretty top heavy. Warriors, Clippers, everybody else.
Pacific.
Pacific. Yeah. Atlantic, Pacific, East, West Coast.
Yeah, it's going to be Warriors, Clippers, and then everyone else.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for listening. We've been your hosts, Paul, Dylan, and yeah, guys, if you like the podcast, appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right in front of you.
Right there. Hit it now.
Give us a like, give us a subscription if you want. And yeah,
please leave a mean comment about us.
Yeah,
we haven't even gotten any yet, so
there's plenty of ammunition you could have.
We're real dumb, so come on, just say something.
Anyway, yeah, guys, thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you guys soon.